welcome to the channel for my Premier League predictions. Game week 26. Game week 25 was an exciting week, and going into this game week 26, I'm looking out to get spot on predictions going into this week. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, put on the notification bell. Anytime I release a video, you may be one of the first people to get notified. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into the game week 26 predictions. Before I begin this video, my like target for this video is just 100 likes. Like and comment your predictions at the comment section. To begin, the first game in game week 26 is between Liverpool versus Luton Town. In game week 25, Liverpool got a 4-1 victory over Brentford, and in that game I predicted a win for Liverpool, and indeed Liverpool got the win over Brentford. And going to this game against Luton Town, which also in game week 25 they lost 2-1 to Manchester United. I think going to this game will be a straight win for Liverpool, and I'm predicting a 3-1 win for Liverpool. Liverpool 3, Luton Town 1. Moving on to the next game is between Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest. In game week 25, Aston Villa got a 2-1 victory over Fulham, and going to this game against Nottingham Forest, which also in game week 25 they also got a 2-0 victory over West Ham United. I think going to this game will be a tough game at Villa Park, and I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Villa. Aston Villa 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Moving on to the next game is between Brighton versus Everton. In game week 25, Brighton got a 5-0 victory over Sheffield United, which was very impressive. And going to this game week 26 against Everton will be a very tough game, but as I'm recording this video, Everton are yet to play their game against Crystal Palace, so I can't give much details about that. But moving on to game week 26, I think this will be a very tough game, and I'm predicting a 3-1 win for Brighton. Brighton 3, Everton 1. Moving on to the next game in game week 26 is between Crystal Palace versus Burnley. In game week 25, Burnley got humiliated by Arsenal 5-0 in that game. I predicted a win for Arsenal, and indeed Arsenal got their massive 3 points with additional 5 goals. Despite Crystal Palace are yet to play their game against Everton, so we can't talk much about that. But moving on to game week 26, going into this game, Crystal Palace versus Burnley, I'm predicting a slight win for Crystal Palace. I'm predicting Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 1. Moving on to the next game in game week 26 is between Manchester United versus Fulham. Going to this game in game week 25, Manchester United got a 2-1 victory over Luton Town, and Fulham also Aston Villa beat Fulham by 2-1. And moving on to the game week 26, this game Manchester United versus Fulham at Old Trafford. I think this would be a very interesting and a good game to watch. Going to this game, I'm predicting a slight draw. I'm predicting Manchester United 1, Fulham 1. And moving on to the next game in game week 26 is between AFC Bournemouth versus Manchester City. In game week 25, Manchester City drew 1-1 with Chelsea, and AFC Bournemouth also drew 2-2 with Newcastle United. Going to this game in game week 26 will be a very good and interesting game to watch. Bournemouth is now on form. They are claiming some good points and looking forward to get good position on the league table. But going to this game, we know Manchester City still want to keep their title race hope, and it will be an interesting game. Going to this game, I'm predicting a straight win for Manchester City. I'm predicting City 3, Bournemouth 1. Oh yes, moving on to the game of the week in Premier League game week 26 is between Arsenal versus Newcastle United. Despite in game week 25, Arsenal humiliated Burnley by 5-0, and Newcastle United also drew 2-2 with AFC Bournemouth. Going to this game at the Emirates Stadium in game week 26 will be an interesting game to watch. Arsenal still want to keep their title race hope alive, so going to this game will be a must win for Arsenal. That's why Newcastle also want to get top 4 this season, so it will be an interesting and a tough game. Going to this game, I'm predicting a slight win for Arsenal. I'm predicting Arsenal to Newcastle United 1. Moving on to the next game in game week 26 is between Wolves versus Sheffield United. In game week 25, Sheffield United were humiliated by Brighton by 5-0, and Wolves also got a 2-1 interesting victory over Tottenham Hotspur. Going to this game in game week 26 is just a walkover for Wolves, and I'm not expecting Wolves to either drop points or even lose this game. Going to this game, I'm predicting a 2-0 win for Wolves. Wolves to Sheffield United 0. Moving on to the next game in game week 26 is between West Ham United versus Brentford. In game week 25, West Ham were beaten by Nottingham Forest by 2-0, and Liverpool also beat Brentford by 4-1. Going into this game in game week 26 will be an interesting game to watch. West Ham versus Brentford. This is a London derby, and this game coming on at the London Stadium will be a very good game, and I'm predicting a draw game here. I'm predicting West Ham United to Brentford 2. These are my predictions for Premier League game week 26. If you're new here, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment your predictions and your thoughts at the comment section. Till we meet in another video. Bye bye for now.